Hey everybody, my name is Kirk Barbera with Real Elite, and I'm going to teach you to be dispassionate, less passionate. Get rid of your passion. This comes from Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday, and it's from my note card system where I write note cards based on the books that I read. This one is called Dispassionate, and we're going to, just really quickly, I want to read you this paragraph. It's very short, and it's on one of the most successful basketball coaches, if not coaches, in sports, period. John Wooden, who won, I believe it was 10 NCAA championships, 7 consecutive ones at UCLA. A young basketball player named Louis Alcindor Jr., who won 3 national championships with John Wooden at UCLA, used one word to describe the style of his famous coach: dispassionate. As in not passionate. Wooden wasn't about rah-rah speeches or inspiration. He saw those extra emotions as a burden. Instead, his philosophy was about being in control and doing your job and never being passion's slave. The player who learned that lesson from Wooden would later change his name to one you remember better, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So the thing that Wooden, and there's a really good book I'll do a business book tip of the day on later. Wooden did a really great job of being dispassionate, but it wasn't that he was against passion. I'm not talking about being against passion. I mean, we often underestimate doing the work, just going in and day out and doing the work. And the other side of this, of being passion's slave, is something that Wooden was a big proponent of being wary of. And he has this description in his books on the philosophy of coaching, where he talks about he doesn't ever do rah-rah speeches, no matter what, no matter if they're down at the at the halftime, if they're down at the season. He never ever did rah-rah speeches. And his reasoning was he wanted to stay away from the roller coaster emotions, because what tends to happen if you rely on these rah-rah speeches that you'll hear in movies and things like that, is people will get really excited and then it dwindles, and usually the dip is pretty big. So he was a proponent of just going in, doing the work, just being steady and steadily rising rather than running up and then down, because that was what he saw a lot of other coaches doing. And I think that's what you see a lot of other coaches doing, is they get people riled up, or at least in the movies, they get them riled up, and then the person in the next game, or after 10 minutes it wears off, and it wears off big, like taking a shot of adrenaline and then you crash. So be dispassionate, go to work. This comes from Ryan Holiday's book, Ego is the Enemy. And if you wanted to win a free copy, just go ahead and go to REELELITE and DM me. And if you're in San Antonio, next event that I'm at, I go to events all the time. We'll connect and I'll get you a free book. I do have a limited amount, but as you can see, I have a good amount left. So hit me up and let's talk soon.